business. So today's topic is one that I hear quite a bit from people, where there is a lot of confusion around what the difference between branding and marketing is. And so I wanted to clear this up because it is important to understand what the difference is. And it's really important to know that both need to work together to create a cohesive brand. So you can't have one without the other. Well, you can, but it's not going to be that effective for your brand. So the better idea is to have a brand strategy and then a marketing strategy. And I get a bunch of people saying to me, well, what's the difference? I don't understand. So tonight, I want to clear that up. I want to make sure that by the end of this live, that you will understand exactly what the difference is between branding and marketing. So branding and marketing are quite different. They do work together very nicely, and you need to understand how that can work in your favor. So understanding the differences will help with that. So the first difference is that marketing and branding are slightly different in that marketing is a push, right? It's a push tactic. It means you're trying to get your message out there to the masses. So you are looking at how you can get it out there through social media, your email campaigns, billboards, TV, radio, all those different avenues. You're pushing your message out to your audience. The difference with branding is that branding is about pulling towards you. It's that attraction. It's about attracting people to your business. It is not so much getting the word out there, but rather saying, this is how we do things. This is how we make people feel. This is our standpoint. And if you love it, come and join us. And people are then attracted to that and go, wow, I want to be part of that. So it's very much a pull tactic, pull people towards you, that magnetism that comes through. The second difference is that branding is very much focused on your why, whereas marketing is focused on your how, right? So the difference here is that your why is all about your purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? And if you've ever watched the Simon Sinek TED Talk, you will hear him talk about the why and the how, or the what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. And that people buy into why you do something rather than how you do it. Now, here's the thing, that you should have more of a purpose towards your business than simply making money. Simon Sinek says that, no one wants to get onto your gravy train for you to bring all the money to you. However, if there is a bigger purpose to your brand, that you're wanting to, shatter glass ceilings, break down borders and boundaries, if you're wanting to make a difference in people's lives, if you are changing things for the better, you're supporting our environment, you've got sustainability elements to it. There's so many different things that you could have a purpose to in your brand. And so understanding how your purpose aligns, your why aligns with your business is very much a branding strategy. So your brand is around your why, however, marketing is around your how. That's you get it out to the masses and tell them how you do things and how you're going to make their lives a lot better. And it's all about the how and how you're going to make them, feel in the process, of course, but it's about what you're doing and how you're going to benefit their lives. So that's a marketing tactic. The other difference is that branding is very much a reputation building process. So when we look at your brand, it's a lot more than just your logo. It is about building your reputation as to what you want to become famous for in your marketplace. What do you want to become known for? And that is all reputation building. And we see this happen a lot if I'll take sports people as an example. So if you've got a sports person who has done the wrong thing, and let's take Tiger Woods. I know it's an old example, but it's one that everyone can relate to. You know, he did the dirty on his wife, and that damaged his reputation. And he really hasn't been able to bounce back properly from that. So you can see that your reputation is very much part of your brand. However, when it comes to marketing, you've got reputation versus sales. So marketing is very sales orientated. You know, I hear a lot of marketers or some marketers who will say that no news is bad news, like even bad publicity is good publicity, because it's about, well, we're going to get our name out there, and if it makes us sales, who cares? That is what we want to be part of. We want to actually have our brand out there. So it is all about the sale when it comes to marketing, whereas with branding, it's all about the reputation. So you can see how you would want the two to be really well aligned to make sure that you uphold your reputation while getting your sales. You don't want to go and say, well, we just want to go and get the sales and damage our brand's reputation in the process. The next difference between branding and marketing is that branding is very much about your strategy, whereas marketing is very tactical. So the difference is that your strategy is all about big term thinking, like where are we positioned? How do we want to look, sound, and feel? What kind of reputation do we want to have? So it's very strategic and planning out that process. Where when it comes to marketing, it's tactical. It's like, okay, who are we targeting? What is the promotion that we're doing? How long is this going to go for? How many bums on seats do we want to get, or tickets do we want to sell, or widgets do we want to sell, right? It becomes very tactical. So marketing looks at things from a different perspective, whereas branding is very much that strategic element. The next difference between branding and marketing is that branding is very much a long-term strategy, whereas marketing is that short-term strategy. So the long-term strategy is, well, how do we want to build a reputation? You can't build a reputation overnight. Reputations take time to build up. So there needs to be this long strategy that branding looks at to say, okay, we need to put all these little elements in place to be able to make sure that our brand has the reputation that we want it to have. On the flip side, marketing is this short-term tactics, short-term strategy, where they go, okay, right, we need to make X amount of sales. We've got an event and we need to sell 1,000 tickets, right? It's short-term. It's going, this is what we are now promoting. This is what we're marketing out to the masses. And so it has more of a short-term framework around it, which means it can be a little bit edgier. You can pivot a little bit with it. You can do a few more different things with it, whereas your strategy is something that needs to remain long-term and be there as a really big consistency. Okay, marketing and branding. Branding is about the macro. It's about the big picture thinking. Marketing is about the micro, right? So once again, big picture thinking, big picture strategy, that is the branding. It is looking at the overarching entire business that you have. How are you going to make your clients feel? How do you make your staff feel? What kind of culture do you want to have internally? Do you have experiences for people within the brand that they can experience your services or your products? How are you going to talk to them? How are you communicating on all the different avenues, right? So it's making sure you've got that macro sorted out, sitting on the balcony looking down, big picture. Whereas the marketing side of it is very much the micro. It's like looking down into the little details, saying, right, we're a cosmetic company and we are wanting to sell skincare for 25-year-olds. And it goes, right, we need to now tap into 25-year-olds. Where are 25-year-olds hanging out? What kind of things do they like? Do we need to tap into trendy music? And you can see how it becomes a micro focus. So you've got branding, which is macro, and you've got marketing, which is micro. The next difference is loyalty versus response. So branding is focused on that loyalty element, about getting people not only to use your service or product once, but to keep coming back. But more than that, don't just keep coming back. Start telling your family and friends about us as well, because that form of loyalty is gold. That kind of loyalty is what sets your business apart from your competitors, because when somebody comes to trash talk you, those loyal customers will be the ones that go, I don't believe that for a second. I love what they do. I love how they make me feel, and I'm sticking with them regardless. So we see this happening. One brand that has raving fans, like mass loyalty, would be something like Apple. People that love their Apple phone, their computer, they are sticking with Apple for life. They are diehard fans. They will never, ever move to Samsung or Dell or whatever, because their whole world and association and their reputation even is tied up with Apple, to go, well, Apple is innovative, forward thinking, and I want to look like I'm like that as well. And they just love Apple products. So Apple has built an amazing brand because there is that loyalty element to it. The marketing side is all about response. It's about saying, hey, we need a response to our marketing campaign. We need a response to X, Y, and Z. So let's take Apple again. Apple has this loyalty base, which is the brand. But when they are bringing out a new product, that is a marketing piece. So that is where they say, we want a response. We want people hanging out in front of the Apple store, spending the night there so they can be the first people to get the latest iPhone, right? It's about that response element. You know, how many people are clicking on our adverts? How many people are liking? How many people are buying from us? So these are all the important parts of the marketing versus the branding. Branding, loyalty, marketing, response. The next one is value versus revenue. So brand is all about the value. What value do we bring to you, right? What value do you give your customers that sets you apart from your competitors? Because that value is what's going to drive people to your brand, that they are attracted to it and go, wow, I get so much value from this. On the flip side, marketing is about revenue. It's about looking at those numbers and going, right, these are the targets that we need to hit. This is what we need to get in. So there's not so much a value-based, but more of a revenue style thinking about that. It's about what is our investment and our return on investment, and how do we generate that revenue regardless of a loyalty. It's not about the loyalty. It's about getting those numbers in. All right. So marketing may contribute to a brand, whether good or bad, but the brand is bigger than any individual marketing campaign. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to say that again. Marketing can contribute to a brand, so whether that's good or bad, but the brand is bigger than any individual marketing campaign. So one of the examples I want to give to you here is a number of years ago, Dior has a brand called Sauvage, right? It's a men's fragrance. And I don't know if anyone remembers this debacle, but what happened here was that the marketing department, and I could actually imagine exactly what was happening in Dior at the time. So the marketing department would have gone, oh my God, we've secured Johnny Depp. He is going to be our ambassador. This is fantastic. And branding is going, yeah, that's very well aligned. We love that connection. He's going to bring the right reputation to the brand. It's going to work really well. Except just before the campaign came out, Johnny Depp was accused of domestic violence. And so I can just see at the time, marketing was like, well, we're going ahead. All the creative's done. We've done all the advertising. We've got everything ready to go. We're going ahead. And branding would be going, no, 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 no. Stop, please, wait. This could damage our reputation. Because what if he is guilty? What do we do then? we've got this amazing brand, but if we're associated with the wrong person doing the wrong thing, that can be incredibly damaging. Marketing won out, and they went ahead with the campaign anyway. Now, the problem is that at the time, nobody knew if Johnny Depp was guilty or not. We now know that he wasn't, so that's great. However, at the time, the visuals for the advert included Johnny Depp driving into the desert in a ute, pulling out a spade and rolling up his sleeves and walking into the desert with the unspoken implication that he was going to dig a hole, right, with a spade, possibly for a body. I don't know. Now, when you think about that kind of creative relating to what is now happening in the real world, it's very damaging. And so Sauvage, which is the name of the fragrance, was dubbed Savage for quite some time. And that is very, very damaging to a brand. Now, yes, they could have held off and waited until, the results from the court case, which was in Johnny Depp's favor, in which case they could have launched the campaign then. As it turned out, they went ahead with the campaign, and because he was found to be not guilty, Dior was then put into a really positive light to say they supported him regardless, right? So it worked in their favor in the end, but you can see how damaging it could be for a business. So those are just a couple of examples of how branding and marketing are different, but they could work really well together. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is that when you are building this brand strategy, you need to be very top level thinking and being able to almost see into the future as to how you want to be perceived. Because as I said, brand takes time. It takes time for your reputation to kick in and for people to truly get and understand what your brand is all about. And that is what we take a look at in the Brand Magic Masterclass.